this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace I'm in now is way better than where I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter. He's got power in both hands. And skill wise and technique wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter. And got skills and a high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, for heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, a showdown no one saw coming. Two stars from completely different worlds now share the same stage. Both crave respect, both seek to prove dominance, and as the countdown begins, the energy, the tension, and the hype reach explosive levels.
It's night and day, right? You have to understand I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once or twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing and feel super strong.
Jake Paul has been louder than ever about his preparation for the Gervonta Davis fight. He insists this is no gimmick. He's bringing in real talent, top-tier sparring partners, and elite trainers to sharpen every weapon. Jake even bragged about dropping opponents during camp, showing that his power is more than hype. But what truly caught attention was his revelation that Shakur Stevenson would join his camp to help him prepare for Tank's unique style. For once, Jake didn't hide behind confidence. He admitted that Tank Davis is dangerous, brutally dangerous. Many mocked Tank's size, calling him too small to stand against someone like Jake, but Jake dismissed that narrative. He respects Tank's ferocious power, acknowledging that every punch Tank throws feels like being hit by a truck. Admitting fear isn't weakness, it's honesty. Jake's words prove he's taking this fight seriously, recognizing that Gervonta's knockout ability and ring IQ make him one of the most lethal threats in boxing today.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something percent, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions, Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So
Wow.
Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans don't truly understand the depth of Gervonta "Tank" Davis's journey. Since the very beginning of his career, Tank has tested himself against heavyweights, not average ones, but skilled, seasoned warriors who knew every trick in the ring. According to boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult, those sparring sessions weren't about survival for Tank, they were about domination. The young, undersized Davis not only held his own against fighters far larger than him, but he also punished them with speed, timing, and ruthless precision. So when people say Jake Paul's size will overwhelm Tank, they're missing the point. Tank has already climbed taller mountains. The analysts revealed that the heavyweights Tank faced were more technical and experienced than Jake could ever be at this stage. Jake deserves credit. He's evolved from an internet personality into a legitimate boxer, but he's still developing the core fundamentals that Tank mastered years ago. Tank grew up fighting elite-level competition while still a teenager. Every round, every war built the monster we see today. If he could dominate men who outweighed him by dozens of pounds and carried years of ring experience, then Jake Paul's size advantage might not mean much. As Showbiz powerfully stated, this isn't a mismatch for Tank. It's a dangerous leap for Jake Paul into a world he might not be ready to face.
For bigger people like the middleweight too. And the thing is, don't be surprised. Okay, this is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. He's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Yeah, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I just knocked out some heavyweights. Knock all that out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder. Now, granted, the heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their ass. And that's a good thing. Honestly, when Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, just kind of letting them know. No, like, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighter list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Gervonta Tank Davis has made it clear he's done with 135 pounds. The endless cuts, the fatigue, and the constant drain on his body have taken their toll. Now, Tank wants to fight where he feels strong, fast, and fully charged. His move to 140 pounds isn't just a physical adjustment, it's a mental evolution. It shows maturity, confidence, and a hunger to face bigger names and tougher challenges, including Jake Paul. Once the showdown with Jake is over, Tank plans to remain at super lightweight permanently. He believes this division allows him to perform at his peak, with sharper timing, improved endurance, and unmatched explosiveness. He wants to dominate here, to build a legacy that spans multiple divisions and proves he's more than just a knockout artist. He's a complete fighter. Some fans argue the added weight could give Jake Paul an advantage, but Tank dismisses that talk. To him, 140 pounds is where his body feels alive. His gas tank lasts longer, his punches land heavier, and his confidence grows with every session. At 135, he was already devastating. But at 140, he's unlocking a more dangerous version of himself, one built for destruction. Jake Paul might become the first to feel the raw force of this reborn and unstoppable Gervonta Davis.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month. And that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title. But I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all. But usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes.
Carmamel Moughton didn't hesitate to share his thoughts. He believes Gervonta "Tank" Davis holds the clear advantage. According to him, Tank's experience sparring heavyweights means Jake Paul's size won't faze him one bit. Carmamel explained that while Jake might be the bigger man, Tank is the smarter, sharper, and far more skilled fighter. The gap in technique and ring IQ is massive. Having seen Tank train up close, Carmamel knows the level of dedication and precision that goes into every session. That insider perspective gives his prediction real weight. He expects Tank not just to win, but to dominate convincingly. As Carmamel put it, talent beats size, and skill will always conquer raw strength. That's the Tank Davis way.
Tank versus Jake Paul.
I feel like it's going to be a good fight, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're going to see how serious they really take it. But I don't know. They both getting a lot of money, so, congrats to them.
What if you had it, who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills and high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweights, and even me, I spar heavyweights, So the weight's not really too much, for a lot of great fighters, so I feel like Tank will get it for sure.
Didn't he kind of be an advantage because he's small and fast? Someone said that. I'm I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. He gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. He can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts to, because a lot of people think it's hard, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or what's going on?
I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? What's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. Floyd's gonna do his thing. Hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you going to fight again this year? What's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, staying patient, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
When the fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta "Tank" Davis was first announced, few stories created as much noise as this one. At the center of the controversy stood Shakur Stevenson, one of the sport's brightest young champions, who didn't hold back his criticism. He questioned why a proven star like Tank would face a YouTuber-turned-boxer instead of another elite fighter. But in a shocking twist, reports soon surfaced claiming that Jake Paul had financially convinced Shakur to join his training camp, helping him prepare specifically for Tank's unique style. Suddenly, the same man who mocked the matchup was now a part of it, a move that left fans and analysts stunned. Many saw this as proof that money can reshape principles overnight. The business of boxing has no room for pride when opportunity knocks. As discussions grew, rapper Offset added fuel to the fire, breaking down the fight from a size versus skill perspective. He argued that Jake's natural strength could make things interesting, but admitted that Tank's speed, defense, and counterpunching are on another level. It's a true clash of power versus precision, a larger challenger taking on a master technician. Analysts also pointed out that much of the criticism Tank faces stems from jealousy. Many who attack his choices secretly wish they were in his position, preparing to earn millions in one historic night. And then came the talk of money. Wild figures ranging from $20 million to an unbelievable $200 million each. Most experts dismissed the higher numbers as unrealistic, but even the lower estimates prove how massive this event truly is. Whether it's legacy, pride, or money, one thing's certain, the world will be watching when Jake Paul and Tank Davis finally collide. This fight isn't just a contest, it's a moment that could redefine boxing's future. Stay tuned for every twist, every update, and every knockout moment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this story is far from over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.